Well, oh my gosh, it's every other Thursday. You're right here with Ask Stacey Stuff with Stacey Talltsch. And I know everybody was talking on Wednesday Live, right, Rob, that it's 2024 predictions with Stacey Talltsch.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous, but he said it's going to be upbeat. So let's see what happens.
He
If I
did
leave
say,
the show, you'll know why. Yeah, everybody's I know who is chomping at the bit to get to this.
yeah.
I'm intrigued. I'll admit that
Mhm,
I'm intrigued, a little
mhm,
worried, but I'm ready. I'm ready for it because I've had a kind of a shitty couple weeks here. And last night was brutal, right? I lost power and I couldn't sleep to begin with. Then it's some weird shit happened. I'm not quite sure what caused this, but I think it was 3 or 4 in the morning,
mhm.
and I heard a weird sound, and then I saw this crazy flash of light, and then all of my doors opened: my bathroom, my bedroom door, and the balcony door. Leo went ape shit, right? And
Balcony door going outside?
yeah, it opened. Well, I didn't know this at first, so like I barricade my bedroom door because Leo is a jackass and he tries to get out to go to Danny's room every night. She has to go to work at like 5. So it's a big pain in the ass. So I put this barricade up and he scratches at it to get out.
Mm,
Um, so I went over there because I had to figure out where this noise was coming from. He was waiting, so I moved the barricade. I popped the door open. He beelined for Danny's room. And there was no power, and there was like all his toys were in the middle of the living room, kind of in a circle. And I'm looking at him, I'm like, what the fuck's happening right now? And I'm like, why is it so cold? It was so cold. And then I started freaking myself out. So I started
Leo is
looking
summoning
around.
demons or something.
I didn't know what was happening. And then I turned and I saw the balcony door open. Now, I think when that opened, it probably created a vacuum that opened. But my bedroom door is almost always shut.
Hmm.
The bathroom door I leave cracked because he just scratches at that. So everything opened. It's freezing cold. No power. Danny isn't awake for some reason. I wasn't going to go in and wake her up. So I just left Leo and went back to sleep. But she had a similar experience with a green light later. So maybe a couple transformers blew. I don't know. It was just a weird night. And then I couldn't get back to sleep. Um, I think I finally fell asleep around 5 or something, then up at 7:30, and fuck, I'm tired. So yeah, hopefully no storms tonight.
Yeeks. That's a that's a scary story.
Well, maybe Leo's conjuring shit up with his
That's what I'm
toys.
thinking. You got a circle of dog toys, and
Yeah,
then all the doors open.
he's out there every night.
Hmm.
Maybe he's getting ready for 2024.
Mhm.
You could be. Well, I think what I'm most excited about here, Stacey, and I'm sure everybody on the side is like ready to hear your predictions, but what I want to know, um, how do you prepare for this? Like, what is your ritual for sort of looking at the year ahead? And I believe you do this with remote viewing. So what is
Yeah.
your like what is it that Stacey does? Like, is there a certain time frame you have to do this? Do you have to do it the month before? Do you do it a week before? And how do you prepare yourself for the incoming information that you receive through remote viewing?
Well, it is through remote viewing, but there's several protocols that come into play.
Mhm.
Uh, I do a Boolean search term, meaning that I will put in blind envelopes a stack of different envelopes of different cues of things that I want to know.
Mhm.
And when I get one that is particularly interesting, I'll drill down on that one to find out exactly what's going on with it. Because you have an error rate around 20% on any remote viewing session, and
Okay.
you don't want to get it wrong, but you're still going to have that error rate. So you attack that same target over and over again to see
Right.
what syncs up and what meshes with the original one.
Okay. That
Um,
makes sense.
you run those several times um, just to get that, and then once I'm there, I give like a percentage of what's the probability on it, and then I go into actual research to determine whether or not it's real or bullshit. because
Okay.
you know how I do in session, you reveal the cue, but you can't really do that when it's a future event because you don't know when the future event's going to take place. The time parallax in remote viewing sucks. What happens tomorrow feels the exact same way as something that happens 6 months from now
Yeah.
or 10 years from now. You can't tell in remote viewing when something's going to take place, but you can do a nut roll to say, okay, this is what's happening first. What happens next? And then you do the next, and then what happens next after that. It's always the next. So it gives you kind of a timeline of when things are happening in order. You just don't know when things are happening to start off. Now, I've been able to get a modicum of success with using terms like equinox and solstice to give me kind of an idea of what time of year we're dealing with. But that again, you're dealing with, there's 2 solstices and 2 equinoxes in a year. So you get kind of an idea of when something's going to take place. Then you can do an educated guess based off of, how things are happening in real time. So
Okay.
everything
right.
that you're talking about, I have an 80% or better idea that it's going to happen. Anything that's less than that, I've got a bunch that are less than the 80% that I've, marked it as. I had one that was really serious with a bunch of men sitting around a table, like in Dr. Strangelove. Remember that scene where they're all sitting around the table and they're all, talking about world events and doing nuclear war? Well, that was there. There's a table where there's shadowy leaders are all talking about doing world events, affecting world events, like assassinations, things of that kind. And, the name of the Pope, the Chinese president, Zelensky, all these kinds of things were coming up. But that was so fraught with AOLs, it was basically junk. Less than 20% of what I got out of that was something real. So we're not going to be including that in predictions because it just the confidence is really, really low.
Okay.
But
all right. Well, I'm just throwing up the side pieces here real quick. I see Sarah's already hard at work, starring comments and questions. So,
hey, Danny, are we going through and saying hi to everybody?
Are we saying hi to everybody? I don't know.
It's your show, Stacey. What do you want to do?
Yeah, let's say hi to everybody.
Let me go back. You got Trevor.
Trevor. Hey.
You got Trevor. He was wondering if you knew he was going to be first. And I said, you knew.
I'm not allowed to be on the side piece on my own show. So
yeah,
I got yelled at for that.
You cannot be a side piece. You've got the Danny. You got the Danny in the house.
Hey, Danny.
You have the who? Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I missed Kim.
Kim,
really.
We got the hoot. The D hoot.
D hoot. She's chomping at the bit.
We've got the DD.
Hey, Dee.
We've got the Adam Van Kuren, and he's ready to hear about some 2024 shit. Who else we got? I saw a couple more.
Oh, yeah.
Courtney. We've got
Courtney.
We've got
April was here.
I'm going to see it. I'm going to get to it. We've got the April. We've got the Lori. We've got Christina.
Uh-oh.
Is that Santa Claus?
Where?
Photo, yeah. It might be a demented looking Santa Claus. I don't remember that photo. Then we have the Sherry.
Hi,
oh,
Sherry.
Wait. And now we've got a Jenny.
Jenny.
There. It's like Romper Room for anybody that remembers that show.
I do remember Romper Room.
Okay, good. All right, that's everybody for right now. Sarah's been starring some comments. So, Stacey, what are you thinking? How are you going to kick this bad boy off?
Well, the 2024 is the year of money. Everything that happens in 2024 is going to be a man-made event surrounding money. We're not going to have the kill shot where a big solar flare takes out the power. That's going to be man-made. It's going to happen, but it's going to be man-made.
Okay.
The stuff, if you've all watched that Obama Netflix special, the Leave the World Behind, that's predictive programming. It's exaggerated, but it's still something that's going to happen. So we're going to get into what needs to take place. Okay. However, the idea behind this show is not to freak everybody out and make them, bundle up in a corner, rocking back and forth. The show and the idea behind it is hope, being hopeful, and having faith in yourself and in humanity. The powers that be, their big tool is fear and hopelessness, to get you to do whatever it is they want you to do. And in reality, hope and, fear and hopelessness exists only here. It doesn't exist anywhere else. And you have complete control over it. They're gonna, throw every boogity at you in the media, online, all kinds of stuff, just to get you to comply with whatever they want. And it's because they want your money. They want you to be indentured to them. And the biggest, most powerful thing that you can do is say no. It really is. Because if everybody does it, they can't do anything.
Right.
We outnumber them by billions. And, if everybody just says no, they can't do anything. And I'll give you an example. During the Great Depression, there was a law or executive order, really, it wasn't even a law, where they told everybody to turn in their gold, under penalty, 10 years imprisonment. Some people did and some people didn't. But the thing to remember is not one person was prosecuted. Just saying no, they really can't do anything.
Right.
Because
nobody was prosecuted for that. I remember
one person.
And it's why people started hoarding gold afterwards.
Yeah.
Including me. Which I wish I held on to all my gold now. Okay. Yeah, Sarah's she's popping out to visit. We're having problems with one of the streams. It actually happened to me earlier today on my live on the network page.
I can't, it won't let me do anything. Sorry, guys. Courtney did share it to the network, but
yeah, it's weird. I don't know why it's doing that. It says looks like the stream was deleted on Facebook. Don't know why.
Yeah, I probably said something.
Just started. They were like,
no, this happened to me earlier too. I don't understand why. So it's saying I can see the event here, Sarah. Okay. Get onto network public page. It says, yeah, that's a weird one. It happened to me earlier today when I went live. So I don't know. That's a weird one.
Adam's predicting streaming issues. Is this part of your 2024, Stacey, streaming issues?
Well, Mercury's retrograde, so that's what you got to expect.
Yeah, it's just I don't understand why this is doing this. It's a Facebook Live. Anyway, you guys play. You know why? It says it starts at 1 a.m. Sarah?
I do them all at the same time. So
yeah, I know. I'm not blaming you. I'm just telling you. Lady.
Well, I'm not coming back on. It's 1 a.m. So.
Yeah, right. No. It's very weird.
What's happening here? I'm going to mess with this. Go ahead. You guys keep going.
All right. Let's keep going with the prediction, Stacey.
Yeah. It comes down to whatever happens, you are in control. You just have to, once you are prepared for the unknown or something that what they call a black swan, if you're prepared for that, it's not going to bother you. Everybody else is going to lose their shit, but you don't have to, because everything's going to be fine. You just have to have all your ducks in a row before that. And what we were a while back talking about, you remember the cell phone emergency alert system?
Yeah.
That's there for a reason. I tested it by putting my phone in a Faraday bag and, waited for the event to happen. It didn't hit my phone when it at the perceived time, but I pulled my phone out later, and the minute it pinged the tower, it set up the alert. There was no downloading of the alert. It was pre-downloaded on my phone. So this kind of thing is preparation for events that they're supposedly emergencies that are pre-planned. They can do things at scheduled times, alerting you to do certain things, be aware of certain things for, through the emergency alert system. While you're not able to text, while you're not able to call anybody, they can still communicate with you and give you commands from remote. That's the whole purpose. But these kinds of things won't affect you if you understand that this is a psyop. They're playing with your head to get you to comply, to get you to do something or not do something. Don't riot in the streets, that kind of thing. Martial law is coming through. Don't do this. Don't do that. You can just say, no, I'm going to do whatever I want. And if everybody does it, they can't do anything about it. Really.
And, I'm looking at Dee Dee saying there's a bunch of movies lately about losing power and internet. And when you think about it, so many houses have gotten rid of landlines and strictly use cellular phones. So if that shit goes down, you really are screwed for asking for help or looking for help or anything, right? I mean,
yeah. What they're going to do is put forth a super bug in the internet, which is also going to be bullshit. They have a kill switch for the entire internet. Every country has their own kill switch. And they started doing that way back. This is not new. They did this when, the Iranian government was trying to block the internet because of revolutions that were happening. Yeah. Saudi Arabia has done it. A lot of the Middle Eastern countries, Libya didn't do it, and Twitter basically overthrew Gaddafi. And that kind of thing just scared the bejesus out of every world leader. So they put in kill switches for the internet. And it's, degreed, where you have cell towers, you have Wi-Fi, you have, regular, IP internet. They can turn off different functions based off of the level of control they want to have. But they can turn the whole damn thing off with a push of a button.
That's why you got to be friends with Elon.
Well, or Zuckerberg. He's building a bunker out on Hawaii right now.
Yeah, but Elon can get you some Starlink setups, right?
Yeah, he can.
He helped the Ukrainians big time with that.
He's got a kill switch too. They tried pressuring him to turn off, Starlink to, over Russia, and he wouldn't do it because that would be international war at that point. He would be responsible for starting war if he'd have done that.
Yeah.
So he didn't do it.
Yeah, I just would like to add, I have fixed somehow the Get Haunted Network public page stream. For whatever reason, it was showing for tomorrow night at 1 a.m. That wasn't even for today, which was odd. So I canceled that event, Sarah, and then I went to re-add it here, and it said you're already live. So I don't know. And then it just started working. So I have no idea. But
yeah, that's kind of weird when you set them up all together. I don't.
You do it as so Stacey and everybody watching who are like, these people can't do shit right. Apparently, when you create the live, you pick all your destinations, and in this case, it's 3. And Yeah, and it just gives them all the same attributes. But for whatever reason, the same thing happened earlier today with when I was road raging on the way to see my mommy. So I don't know. It's working now, but it's weird. So weird.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't want your message out, Stacey.
I'm telling you, they're like, don't put it on the public page. Too much. And Adam, I see your comment here with the TikToks, right? And talking about losing of the power and right, the whole fear tactic. I mean, it's the easiest thing. And no offense, I'm just not going to take my advice from TikTokers. Great, you guys are entertaining, but I'm not going to take my medical advice or my end of the world advice from TikTokers. It's just not going to happen. But yeah, I mean, that's the quickest way to spread fear, right? Is through social media.
Right. And they're going to do that too. Right. They're going to censor or shadow ban people who are actually telling the truth, and people who are basically throwing fuel on the fire for hysteria. They're going to, push those up in the algorithm. Not so much on Twitter anymore. Elon's reining in a lot of that, but TikTok, that's Chinese owned.
It is. I remember all the hysteria over that too.
The hubbub.
Yeah. Well, if you look at TikTok algorithms for the United States as opposed to algorithms for China, they have completely different standards on what's considered acceptable. On TikTok, you can do all kinds of really stupid stuff that gets pushed up in the algorithm to basically feed into the stupid. But in China, they block all that stuff. They actually block if there's men who look a little bit on the feminine side, they block those too.
Really?
Yeah. Feminized men are illegal.
I would be blocked.
Stop.
No, you're not blocked.
I would be.
No, you don't wear eyeshadow, lipstick.
Not
that
live.
You know of.
Not live. All right.
So Stacey, what like, do you just want questions coming at you, or do you want to give so we know this is the year of money,
right?
And man-made situations, not
right.
So yeah, how do you want to handle the questions?
Well, why don't we just start off with the questions, because I have a feeling we're going to lean into, rather than me do a whole presentation and burn the whole time on me talking. We can start answering some questions, and I'll lead into it.
All right. Let me see here.
Right.
Why did we already go over those first two questions from Dehu? Because they're just gone now. I started them.
I know. You go to the starred tab. Here was her first question. Sarah's having a hard night.
On the
starred tab,
Bible codes.
So do you have any thoughts about the accuracy of the Bible code, Stacey?
Yeah, the Bible codes are a lot of numerology, because you have Latin, Jewish, and Germanic codes that all coincide, and they use this numerology to determine what certain words mean in other languages, and then they translate that language and do the same thing. And it after a while, it starts to not make any sense, because a lot of the Bible code stuff that they're using to translate the languages didn't exist then. English did not exist in biblical times, and yet they're doing it in Latin to Greek to English, and English to Greek to Latin, and Hebrew, and those things don't mesh in the terms of the time of the Bible. The language.
This could explain Sarah's typos and text messages.
She's a reincarnated Jew.
She might be.
Well, I do have 1%.
She does. She's a 1%er. So there you go. Maybe you are texting in biblical code.
Could be. It's some kind of code. I know that.
Yeah. No, the Bible, I'm not dissing on the Bible at all, but a lot of what you know as the Bible has nothing to do with what was actually written back in the day. The translations were either deliberately changed or changed because of lazy. The people who transcribed the Bible, because they didn't have printing press back in the day, you had actual monks transcribing from one Bible to another, and it was several generations of that. Words didn't mean the same thing, and the translation itself started to, lose its meaning from its original intent.
Maybe I'll translate it. That'll be my project for 2024. We'll do the modern Rob version. No, Sarah, even with us, what's happening over there? You seem like you're in a trance.
I know.
Well, I'll give you an example. That even in modern times, in the Constitution, you can impeach a president for high crimes and misdemeanors. Well, what's a high crime? Nobody knows, because there's no such thing in our law of high crime. However, all of the founding fathers were Freemasons, and the Freemasons actually have a law of high crime, and it's the first one that it's your vow that you take when you enter the Masonic Lodge. When you first become a Mason, your vow is sacred. You violate that's a high crime. It's the oath of office of the president. The president violates his oath of office. That's a high crime. So that
I think I'm going to leave this show depressed and feeling stupid.
Wasn't it wasn't it supposed to be upbeat?
Yeah, where's the upbeat?
I'm just, this is the Bible thinking. 2,000 years of mistranslation of words and ideas. And it hasn't even been 250 years here in America, and nobody understands what the Constitution means. So the codes, the biblical codes, in my opinion, are largely horseshit.
All right. Well, I mean, that's
the opinions of Stacey, not of Get Haunted, Paranormally Blind.
All thoughts, comments, and expressions belong solely to Stacey Talltsch. You can find him at www.udemy.com. It's a good segue into D Hoot's next question, because you went presidential, which would be I guess that's for me to put up. Sarah, you're right.
I thought you were doing it. I thought you were putting up the comments. We're fighting over them tonight.
Let's stick to just one. Who will be our next president? I can give you a clue. He's orange.
Like Sarah? You're kind of orange tonight.
It's my golden hour, like everybody, so calm down.
All right. Okay, so you're saying that our next president, it will be a returning president. That's your prediction. I know Adam's going.
Yeah, and there's a caveat to this too, because the nut roll on it, the next president wasn't elected. The one after the next president is elected.
What the hell does that mean?
Wait, this next president isn't elected. The one after him is elected.
Yes.
Okay.
But what does that mean?
That means the geriatric in chief is not going to survive between now and, so as it goes, vice president becomes next, and then after that, the next elected.
Oh my God, you're going big tonight. You're going big tonight, Stacey.
Now again, the caveat at the beginning, this is 80%. Coming down. There's that 20% error, margin of error. So given the confidence is over 80% on that. Not definitive, just.
Oh, we hear you. All right.
Well, I'm not going to add any comments to this, so
we're going to
leave it at his answer.
Yes, D Hood is not happy with your prediction either, Stacey. But listen, we'll survive. We will also. This is up.
Oh yeah, none of this is a big deal.
This
really.
is upbeat.
None of this is.
Ah, Christ. Who? I'm going to throw your final.
this
This
is
is
the
the
end of the
last
world.
presidential question we're going to ask. Well, I think you already got your answer there. Who?
Yeah, no.
Ain't happening.
Oh,
All
all
right.
I know is I'm 52 and I've survived every president I've been
Oh,
alive for, and we will continue to do what we do just fine, I think. As long as
yeah.
we, the people, are all kind to each other.
We, the people of the United States of America. All right.
That's
All right.
that.
Let's get off that topic there.
Yeah,
Let's go on to something a little more fun.
illnesses,
Will
right?
there be any wars in 2024? Look, I'm a warmonger. I did wars.
Yeah, there's going to be more wars. There's a lot of what we're going to be going through. For wars are not about ideology ever. They're always about money, and 2024 is about money. So there's going to be a lot of violence in the streets of around the world, in the United States, different things like that. The Summer of Love there's going to be a repeat of that. But again, you don't have to succumb to it. You don't have to get freaked out by it, because this too shall pass. As long as you don't get all bent out of shape because everybody's got the fear level turned to 11, you join in on that, you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
I didn't say it's going to be great. I just said it's going to be fine.
But can we make some merch for this?
What, Sarah?
Can we make some merch for this?
Yes. Go to war with Get Haunted 2024. That we'll add shooting target practice to our events, right? We can have them at shooting ranges. I can shoot. I'm a really good shot.
Well, there's going to be opportunities that have never been seen in at least 5 generations, that if you seize upon them, you can become very, very wealthy. Because we're talking about money. Wealth is like energy. Energy, thermodynamics cannot be created or destroyed, only transferred. Wealth is the same way. It can't be created or destroyed, only transferred. If you know where it's going to be transferred to, you can be standing in that spot when it moves that way. And that's how you become wealthy.
So
insider
look for
trading,
armored cars, look for all that fun shit.
Well, it's going to be
cryptocurrency.
Everything what we know as finance today is going to be transferred into a tokenized system between now and 2030. But the lion's share of everything that's going to take place is going to happen in 2024.
Was that what Chuck E. Cheese was all about, teaching us how to use tokens?
I think that was just a way of them keeping your money.
Those were tickets.
No, you had to use tokens.
You had the Chuck E. Cheese
tokens to play the games to get the
get the tickets,
Yes.
which you could have just bought. You could have bypassed that whole process.
Could have just bought them all.
Casinos are the same way. They give you chips. They take your money and give you chips. It's basically the tokenized system that we're going to be dealing with.
I love that.
Right now, if you look at the debt clock, it has all these things that are going on. It's all numbers that are switching and doing different things. They're all going up in some mysterious way, except for the M2 money supply. The M2 money supply is the money that's in your wallet, the paper money. That's actually going in reverse. They're burning and shredding paper money. It's being taken out of the system right now.
Rob's about to make it rain, I think.
Oh, make it rain up in here.
Yeah, that's going to be.
My mommy gave me for Christmas.
You're going to have to turn all that in.
You have to turn it in?
Yeah, if you want to get credit for it. If not, they're going to devalue it and make it monopoly money, which is really what it is anyway. But
how are we going to do cocaine, Stacey? Straws?
Well, McDonald's still has plastic straws.
All right.
Unless you're in New Jersey, then you have to have paper ones.
Yeah.
That'll work too.
Yeah, it's not as fun. You know,
right.
the mixed scent of money. And all right, next. Something a little more upbeat here. Will there be any major illnesses coming in 2024?
I love the upbeatness of all
Yeah,
this.
I
This
love
has been
this
awesome.
Eastside
War.
Yeah, no, they tried that and it went over like a lead balloon.
Hmm.
So they're going with computer viruses now.
Oh, good.
Oh.
Hit us where it really hurts.
Yeah. It's easier to control too.
Yeah.
Wow, shit.
Okay.
Hold on, I'm
Sounds
trying to
good.
catch up on the side. Are you starring
Although-
anything? Like,
I haven't. No, I haven't.
okay. Are you
I mean,
there?
people are.
Do
Yeah.
you need to go? Do you need to take a break?
No, I am literally watching everybody's comments, and nobody's got another. I haven't seen another
Do you need
question.
time? All right.
Stacey, 2024. Get on and going to be owned by one or two. What do you see?
Oh, I didn't run that queue.
No, not that one.
Oh. I was looking at global events, you know?
That is a
That would
global
be
event.
a global event. That's right.
Oh my God. It would, believe me. I can't even breathe the wrong way without somebody fucking getting upset. Like, I sneeze and people are like, all right, that guy's up to no good. All right. So what you're saying, I think, okay, here comes a good one. No, Billy, are you fucking kidding me? I'm sorry with the language, ladies.
Ladies, maybe gentlemen don't like it.
Do you see the U.S. getting invaded with the borders being open and letting terrorists in while our troops are going across the world? So you can answer and then I'll answer. All right.
Well, they're already here. You know, it's not going to be happening in the future. It's present tense.
Correct. But there will never be an invasion on.
No, we're not. There's not going to be Red Dawn.
Yeah, no, there's that. So look, there are more guns here than people. It's just how it is.
Behind every blade of grass.
That's from Japan. That's from World War II.
Uh-huh.
It's why Japan they were planning a land invasion of the United States, and the emperor was like, "Yeah, no, it's behind every blade of grass, and America's an American with a gun," and that's the truth. I mean, maybe not in California where Dee Dee lives. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
but
no,
we'll protect you. You can come this way, Dee Dee.
Militarily speaking, if they wanted to destroy the United States that way, we would do it to ourselves if they popped an EMP over Kansas.
I gotcha. That I believe is more of a plausible thing. I think we'll turn on each other before anybody has the balls to come here. Look, here's what I've personally witnessed in my short 35 years on this planet. Why is that funny? When shit gets real, Americans band together. They do. Doesn't look like it most of the time. 9/11, and I was published. I didn't write an article, but I wrote something down and someone submitted it. That's the first time, at least since the military, that I saw people actually come together, work together. Nothing mattered, color your skin, what you believed in, didn't believe in, all that shit went right out the window. And I was only just a few blocks from when it all happened that day. And it took me a long time to get past that, but it hit me instantly to see what people will do for each other in a time like that. So yeah, I can't imagine it happening. I could be wrong. Dee Dee said I might be wrong. I could be wrong. I don't think I am.
Well,
especially on the East Coast. I mean, you got enough old guys still around like me, and I could probably outfit. How many people are on here? Yeah, everybody on this on this live with a firearm or two. We'd kick some ass if they showed up.
Yeah, the invasion thing would not work ever. I mean, China has a trepidation about invading Taiwan, which is like the size of Hawaii. They don't want to get involved on that level because, well, it's very difficult to invade the island itself. topographically speaking. But the United States is just a monster.
Oh, it's huge.
Th-
Yeah, when my friends come over from, well, when they used to come by from Japan or from Europe, right? Because I've been in, I'd go from Amsterdam to Germany. It's a freaking car ride. Like, you're going through countries. They get here and they're like, can we go see Wyoming? I'm like, yeah, if you got like a month, yeah, we can start driving. Now they can't. People don't. They don't, and especially the Japanese folks that I've had over are like, it's huge. This country is huge. Like, they can't even believe how big it is.
Yeah.
It's
I
pretty.
got relatives that were from London and they'd never been here before.
Yeah.
And they landed in Chicago and we drove to Colorado.
Yeah.
Just, I have relatives there. It took 3 days to drive that with a camper, and they just stared out the window of all the corn that they were driving by for 3 days. They're like, my God, will this ever end? It's like, well, eventually we hit the desert. But
can you believe all of the corn over there?
Since you brought up sort of a food supply situation, they're not going to take away our real meat, right? Like, I don't have to eat this lab grown shit, do I?
No. Well, it's going to be available, but they tried and failed to get rid of the real meat. And I remember last year, 2023, there were fires that just suddenly happened at all these food processing plants all across the country and around the world. Really weird. General Mills bursts into flames for no reason. And then you got this, grain silo that bursts into flames for no reason. And it burns to the ground, even though the thing's made out of concrete and steel. There's nothing inside that actually burns, yet it burns to the ground. People started asking questions and they realized that they were getting caught. So they stopped. And, the supply lines are now what they're going to try and play with. So we're still recuperating from the last 2 years when they were messing with the actual production.
And there were a couple, gosh, I remember in Texas, there were a couple big, I don't remember if it was pork or remember when those farms were burning down, or they're not manufacturers, but
Sarah's sister is there, just so everybody knows. She's not talking to her imaginary friend. Her sister is off to the side.
She is.
There was like 3 Dyson chicken processing plants that burst into flames within a month.
Yeah.
And then, people started asking questions and realized, why are all these things that Bill Gates owns suddenly starting on fire?
Yeah.
And then they stopped starting on fire.
Yeah. I love that, Adam. Yes, what?
Thousands of cows killed.
Oh, that's right. All the cows that were killed
Mm.
in April. Remember that? That's sad. That's a waste. That could have fed the homeless situation from coast to coast. 18,000 cows, people.
Yeah.
That's almost a week's worth of hamburgers for you.
For me. I mean, that's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous.
Well, while we're talking about food, it would be prudent for everyone and the side pieces to have at least 14 days worth of food that you can have on hand.
I barely have a day.
What, for this upbeat 2024 that we're facing?
Yeah, this upbeat thing.
Yes.
No, the idea of being upbeat is if you've got what you need, you can basically sit back and.
I love this spin, Stacey. This is all really good news if you're prepared.
Well, that's what we're doing. We're preparing.
Fuck.
Because the one thing they can never take away from you is what you know. So if they come to your house and take you away or take all of your shit, doesn't matter. What you know is still yours.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have Twizzlers.
Don't you have that big box of candy bars on top of your fridge? You're good.
Yeah. The Polish candy.
Your Polish candy. You're good. Where are you going?
No, you need Tootsie Rolls, man. Get a big bag of Tootsie Rolls.
Leo is now 20 pounds. So
he will be a good food source.
I mean, last resorts are ugly.
Since I think we should answer Jenny's too, since we're on this.
It wasn't even a
amazing-
question. She's making a statement.
Oh,
Will there
Oh,
will be in a recession for 20? Yeah, that's a statement, but
Oh.
it's wrong. We won't be in a recession. We'll be in a depression.
okay.
oh,
So
well,
It just started. There we go. Depression officially started.
well, if you read Depression Diaries, most people didn't know they were in a depression. It was just life.
Yeah, because they didn't have social media to tell them they were.
They
Now
still
we
had
all know.
they still had radio. Radio was telling them all kinds of bullshit, and they had no idea that they were in a depression. They just knew they didn't have any money because all the money was seized. You know, the idea of the Nickelodeon where you could watch, movies all day long for a nickel. That was, like going out to a
Is that
fine
why
restaurant.
it's called that?
Nickelodeons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, the Three Stooges were running, triple features, all day long, and you could go in, and once you paid your nickel, you could sit in the theater all day long. So
had
I
no
know
idea.
Stacey talked.
Just if anybody would like a good read while we're talking about predictions of 2024, The Fourth Turning is a good book to check out, folks. It gives you an
Yes.
idea of how we all go through our decades.
yeah, it's a cycle, and we're at the end of that cycle.
Mhm.
The Fourth Turning is an excellent book on that. You want to talk about predictive programming? That book was written in the late '90s, and they spelled out what was going to happen at the end of the cycle, which is what is happening.
It's very interesting.
Ugh.
A really scary book on the subject too is called The Great Takening, that just recently came
The
out.
Takening.
Yeah,
Mm.
there's all kinds of videos on that too, reviews, and even the author explains his book.
I don't find The Fourth Turning to be depressive, though. I think it is just indicative to human beings and how
Mhm.
what the cycle is. Look, we all talk about learn from history, and the reality is we haven't forced one kid in how long to really understand anything about history. None. So they're doomed to repeat it.
Yeah, they don't even know what it's like to have a telephone that get the cord wound up as you're talking and walking
When it
around.
twists, when
Yeah.
it's all
They
twisted
have
up.
no idea the stress that previous
Yeah.
generations had to live
I
through.
wish I had one now.
Which
I'd
Stop.
put an end to this entire show.
Oh, stop.
It's not bad. What I'm saying, and I've started from the very beginning, is that you don't have to stress out about it if you're ready for it.
Mhm.
I have a question.
Okay.
Will I ever be on the cover of Ghosted magazine?
I didn't cue that, man.
Come on.
I'm waiting for the centerfold. You should be the centerfold.
I'll be the centerfold. I'll do that.
Oh,
I'll
good
do that.
Lord. It's a whole nother show. A whole
I'll have
nother
to
show.
pixelate it. All right. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to just.
Dee Dee's stocking up wine for 14 days. She's going to be ready for that. Let's
Oh, yeah.
see.
Wine.
That's awesome.
And Dehu, can you write a book? Because the shit she says on the side,
Ugh.
she has the most interesting childhood. It just anymore, nothing. It won't shock me. I just write a book already, Dehu.
She could castrate a cow with a fucking pocket knife.
With a pocket knife.
That's not impressive. I grew up on a farm.
It is for me. I'm impressed.
Yeah.
A rubber band and a pocket knife. That's all you need.
Okay.
That's
Let's not go back to that.
No. So let's talk about a little bit of the weather because seasons have shifted. This is an obvious, and I don't want to talk about climate change. I just don't. But I think natural world being is that things shift. Everything changes, and clearly there is a shift in seasons because I remember as a kid, it starts snowing in maybe late November, December, and it was pretty much done January, February.
Mhm.
September wasn't hot as balls. And it just seems like everything's just moved a month and a half over a little bit. What do we think?
Well, it's true, but you also have to understand that the climate change that we're experiencing here is happening on every planet in the solar system at the same time.
Mhm.
What was norm for Venus is not, it's warming up. The same way Mars is actually warming up.
Mhm.
Jupiter is warming up.
So it's not my straws. It's
No.
not the straws that I use every day.
It's not man-made. This is a con. It's a form of control. They're using fear to try and get you to do something to be under their control.
Mhm.
I mean, Greta just deleted a tweet from 2018 that said that the world was going to end in 2023. You know,
Well, she might have should have waited another 3 days. I mean, come on, Greta.
Watch now.
Yeah,
It just ends.
be optimistic, Greta.
but it's the 5-year, the 10-year.
Mhm.
Al Gore said there would be no snow by 2015.
Mm.
I mean, is there snow? There's snow. I mean, the ice caps are gone. The sea levels would rise. New York would be underwater. Miami would be underwater.
Mhm.
New Orleans
California
would be
fell
underwater.
off. Fell
Yeah,
right
that's
off the
awful.
United States.
Yeah, it's
Mm.
these predictions that they give aren't based on science.
Mhm.
They're only there to scare you, to
Mhm.
do things that they want you to do. The EV push isn't based on science.
Mhm.
They want to be able to control your movement. With an EV, they can turn off your car. They can turn off the electricity. They can tell you you can't go anywhere because, well, climate change.
Mhm.
It's all based on control. 2026, every new car is going to have a kill switch that can be remotely activated.
Mm. I don't
You know,
want an electric
they
car.
wanna
I'm holding out. I will be one of the last holdouts for an EV. That is not on
That's
my
gas
list
powered
of.
cars too. They want to put breathalyzer machines in every car to where you can't start the car until you blow into a straw. That's the first step.
Well, I'm ready. I've been practicing for that. Like I use my straws every
Well,
day. So
it's another form of control. These are things they're putting into place to try and get us to bend the knee. And collectively, we can say no. And they're thinking that we won't do that. And they're afraid that we will. So
Yeah.
okay. So are we going to get snow? It's just all shifted. Do we feel it's just shifted?
yeah, everything's just shifted a little bit.
It's coming. It'll be here in February, I think.
Yeah, I agree with you.
That's what I think. February 12th.
No, you're going to get snow in the first week of January.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's gonna dump. This bubble that I was talking about
Oh,
is sucking humidity out of the Gulf and it's going north to you. And then the cold snap's coming right behind it with all that humidity still in the air.
No, I have no snow for.
Yeah, no, it's gonna snow.
it's 10 days. Like, we're talking later.
I agree. I think, Rob, February to the beginning of May.
All right. So we did weather. We did presidents. We did money.
Money. The 10 days of darkness. Oh,
What the hell is
okay.
that?
People in this country, anything greater? Yeah, it's an election year. There's just a whole lot of stupid that's coming down the pike. Just because it's an election year. Every 4 years, a whole lot of stupid just happens. That's not going to be.
Yelling. She's yelling at us right now.
Oh, God. What about the collective minds? Do they no longer have an effect?
They have an effect. It's just if you're paying attention to social media and the news, you're not going to see any of the collective mind stuff. In real life, IRL, people are synced up with the collective. People aren't assholes one-to-one and in the general public. Outside, New York.
Hey, hey. Courtney's from New York.
So
the city.
Oh, okay. She's from Long Island.
Chicago's got the same problem.
Do you find, Stacey, what we're going through right now? I mean, we've talked about this, but let's bring it up for 2024. I mean, it seems there is the beginning, or we have been for, I would say, a few years, anyways, a real spiritual war happening, right?
Mhm.
So, does 2024 still follow that trend? Is there still this great awakening happening and the spiritual war happening?
Yes, and we're at the point actually where we're winning. It doesn't necessarily look like that,
Who's
but
we?
it's the people,
The good spiritual side?
the good side. The
Okay.
good, we're winning. A lot of the really evil shit that has been going on for years, if not decades, is losing power and getting exposed. And the more people that see it, snowball effect.
Can I have
mean,
an example?
The Epstein files are coming out in the first week of January.
Okay.
177 names of well-to-do
Yeah.
insiders are going to be exposed. And who they are, I couldn't tell you. I got an idea, but
Yeah.
once that comes out, it's a snowball effect. People are saying this person is one of those evil fuckers.
And when's this coming? February?
No, January.
January.
January 7th is when the judge ordered it to be released.
Okay. So there's a little bit of, it looks like the house is cleaning itself out here a little bit, at least in that situation.
Yeah, they can't continue doing the universe requires balance. A lot of the evil stuff that they've been doing and getting away with isn't going to happen, isn't going to continue on. There's a lot of debate going on right now between the trials of Trump and then the trials of Hunter. Who's gonna win that? I'm gonna lean on the orange guy. He's gonna win.
Sorry, Adam. Sorry, D Hoot.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff that was going on in behind the scenes with the Biden family is really gross. Not just evil, just gross.
Enough, Robert.
I love that. D Hoot's saying she thought only 12 names were being
177. And they say a lot of them are like the janitor, that swept the floors on the island and things like that. But these are people who were on the flight logs going back and forth on the plane. So
I heard Obama was there.
Oh yeah, Oprah was there.
Oprah, her too, yeah.
Beyonce.
Oh,
Beyonce
was there.
Oh my God.
Yeah, even some well-known people who have already fled the country are rumored to be on there.
Yeah.
I've never been.
I'm so shocked because I really thought Hollywood and politics were so clean. I really thought they were amazing people and really uphold high standards. So this is shocking to me.
Really? They made movies.
No, not really. None of this is freaking shocking. None of it. That's why
Eyes Wide Shut was a documentary, just to let you know.
Adam has a very serious question here. Will Chancellor Palpatine rise to be an emperor?
That already happened, didn't it?
I don't know. He's a Star Wars dude.
Yeah.
Hey, Andy's here.
No, you're right, D. Hoop. Flying on a plane doesn't equal a predator. But let me tell you something. Going to that island certainly doesn't look good for you. That's all. That's all. I think this is a very good question because, one, we see AI sort of taking over. Every day there's something new here. And is that tied at all with the UFO situation or the alien situation? Because it seems like there's a bigger story there with the alien world. And we have been completely redirected to think something else. And it's not at all what we think, that this is a spiritual thing.
Yeah. Well, it's both. Hang on a second.
Bread's ready. That was
Time to take the subway.
That was from the actual aliens. That's how Stacey.
No, that was my A word reminding me to give my dog some medicine.
Oh.
But
what the hell is that noise? What just happened?
I heard that too. It sounded like an explosion.
Are you okay over there, Stacey?
yeah, I clicked on and off my mic on the
Oh.
on
There's
the.
a mute button right here. If you hit Control D, you can do that. You don't have
Yeah.
to like
It sound like a
physically turn
mom.
hardware off. The guy's sitting here dropping information like a fucking like no, he's like Einstein, and
Yeah.
he turns his mic off physically.
Hold on a second. No, but anyway,
Control D will
Control
mute
D.
your mic.
Yeah,
Control
AI is
D.
getting scary smart. The problem with the AI is also very woke.
Mhm.
You want to have a frustrating conversation with ChatGPT, ask what is a woman, and it will just lose its shit.
Yeah, nobody knows that answer, dude.
What's that?
I said nobody knows that answer.
What is a woman?
Yeah. Like,
No, what is a woman thinking? No one knows that
well,
answer.
I mean, look, we know what defines one physically, at least. Yeah, but the rest is a mystery.
Yeah. It's adult human female.
Sorry, ladies, I'm being funny here. I'm being funny.
Yes. Again, we're just having a
Yes.
good time, folks.
That
This
was
is nothing
not
to
even
cancel,
serious.
get haunted, or paranormally done for.
Not even serious.
That is so racist.
Oh my God,
Not
Stacey,
even
that's a
serious.
perfect. If I wouldn't have been looking,
Get haunted is mostly women. Shit.
Yeah.
I barely do anything anymore. Sarah runs the whole fucking company.
it is because we are goddesses, Dee Dee. That is
Yeah, I agree.
correct.
I'll be the first to admit it.
That's why we don't
But-
know what you're thinking. You're goddesses.
So I don't know, like, and I agree, Dee, who like she says she's so asleep, not woke, that she doesn't even know what that means. But I think that, again, that is the problem with AI. I mean, we are just really handing over, and we had this discussion on the show that we talked about AI and the paranormal with, on Paranormally Blind, but just to hand over all our power, our creativity, and our thought process, and just handing it over to something that somebody else created to think for us is just a crazy concept to me.
Yeah. Well, it's like a child. It only knows what it's learned. And if all you're feeding it is that, white people are racist, it's
Wow.
that's the way it's going to go.
Now, look, I've played around with Chat GPT. It's pretty impressive when I ask it to, let's just say, create an ad or to create a description for an event and so on, which I did use recently, maybe once, just saying. It's scary smart in that regard for me, right? And then I've been playing around. You guys see my twisted tarot imagery that I create. It actually kind of makes me sad that I can just log on to Microsoft Bing and put an artist out of work in 13 seconds. Like, it's kind of sad. And it's all, I mean, even look at the Funko Pop. Everybody's got a Funko Pop image of themselves. That shit right there too is, I'm sure that is developed via AI in some regard, right? It's got mix and match. Like the new version of it's pretty damn cool. So I don't know what to think.
Not just artists. The people at Google that created
code writers. Yeah.
They all got laid off today.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's like 30,000 Google employees that got laid off today.
Because
they were the ones that worked on AI.
Wow. Yeah, I know. I mean, in ChatGPT, I can enter like someone having a problem with the website. So I learned this last night. Having a problem with the website where because it's driven by WordPress, there's one section on the website that is not SSL because it's kind of this blog portion that I remove the comments on. So the entire site, when it gets visited by certain Mac devices, phones and laptops, will show up through Mac's advanced security as an unsecure site when it's really only one portion that it has nothing to do with the shop or anything else. So when I was looking for ways to fix that because it was fucking pain in the ass to find that one spot, Chat GPT. I can go to Chat GPT and say, write me code for WordPress that will make every single page on my website secure. And it did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did it. Like, and after that were ads for people that would offer to do it for money. And I'm like, I just go to Chat GPT and do this. It's kind of crazy. And you know what? Dee Dee's right. AI images are nowhere near as good as true art. I agree. But if you look at what trends on Facebook, that's all people are sharing nowadays. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. And the only way you can really tell right now is looking at the hands. You know, they don't
What'd you
get the
say?
hands and teeth right on a lot of this.
Oh.
You know, they have these pretty women. They're smiling, but you don't see their teeth. Because as soon as you see their teeth, they look all snaggletooth. And their hands, they have like 6 and 8 fingers.
I like that.
Like Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
She has 6 fingers?
I don't know. They showed her with 2 thumbs on one hand. I don't know. She's horrible at photoshopping or something. I don't know. I'm not quite sure. Well, you know, so I'm curious though, you really didn't keep this upbeat, Stacey. And I know you want us just to be prepared. And I love that optimism. But outside of all that stuff, you know, when you look at 2024, and I don't know what all your targets were, but will we become nicer to each other? Will there be this a little bit of humanity thrown back into the pot here where
this is where we're going with the getting through the bullshit that they're trying to choke down. Everybody, the fear and the hopelessness that they try and shove down our throats isn't working like it used to. People are becoming enlightened, aware, awake to a lot of this stuff. And they're not looking at the stuff that's coming down as being as scary simply because they don't believe the media anymore. Media's lost its credibility. Social media is losing its credibility, especially the ones that are, you know, more about the influencers like TikTok, you know, Instagram, things of that kind. They're losing their credibility. Reddit losing its credibility. The idea that what you read isn't as rock solid as what it used to be. They're still trying to play on emotions. They're still trying to deceive you and lie to you and all this other kind of stuff, but it's not working as good or as effectively as it used to. That's going to compress. It continue. And it being an election year, there's, like I said, there's going to be a whole lot of stupid that comes down the pike. But every time they do something like that, it's a one-off. They can't do the same thing twice. They can't gaslight us like they used to, because we don't believe it. No one believes it anymore.
Right.
And that's the problem.
So there's hope for humanity.
Yeah.
2024 is survivable if you prep a little bit, right?
You can actually become richer than you possibly thought even today by the end of 2024 if you act right, if you do the right things.
Does that mean is that limited to buying cryptocurrency? I mean, should people walk away from this going, well, fuck, I might as well quit today?
No. We're in our whole economy globally, because of the dollar being the global reserve currency,
right?
And the dollar itself is a debt-based system. They create dollars by creating debt. And that happened in 1971 when we got off the gold standard. We went from an asset-based society to a debt-based society. Debt-based societies are a Ponzi scheme. They always have been, and they always will be. It's not the first time this has ever happened. It's just the latest time that it's happened. Single time, the debt-based fiat Ponzi scheme always collapses. We're there. It's collapsing. You don't see it because they don't talk about it collapsing, but it is a controlled demolition from a debt base to an asset base. They're moving back to an asset base. And that means commodities, you know, like production, things that we used to do, like make things, those are going to be more valuable than pushing paper and pushing debt like it had been. If you have assets or have skills to make assets, to make things, you're going to do very well because it's an asset. It is something that is tradable into itself, but it also has value that can be put on the blockchain. Your real estate, you won't have to go through a realtor or through the bank or anything like that. They'll have the ability to buy and sell homes on the blockchain, even divide it up to where if you have like, multi family home, like for apartments and stuff, you can divide those up and sell them separately on the blockchain. If you've got a piece of art, you can sell that on the blockchain. They're called NFTs, and right now they kind of suck, but you can sell art the same way that they do it in an auction house on an exchange. These are assets that you have that cannot be taken from you. My personal favorite is XRP. XRP is going to be the cross-border payment system of the entire world. What is equal to $4.4 quadrillion every year that moves around the world is going to be on XRP. In order for that to happen, for XRP to actually do that function, its valuation has to be north of $10,000 a piece. Right now, it's sitting at 62 cents.
Yeah,
So,
Stacey sent me this email on August 18th on how to actually get my ass purchasing some XRP.
yeah,
Hmm.
it's the.
Oh, I see. Stacey only was worried about one of us.
Well,
He was in New Orleans. I talked to him about this.
Okay.
right. Yeah, calm down, lady. like buy it, and she'll just be like, "Oh, that's you need to send some of that in over there with my hoodies." I'll be like, "Okay, here's some XRP." WXRP.
Well, the valuation of when all this stuff is going to take place isn't really known. They're not telling us when anything. They're just, but they do have a schedule of when this stuff is going to be rolled out. Because this is a big, doing things on the blockchain is a software rollout. They're updating every bank around the world in order to handle this. And that has to happen by March 18th of 2024.
And as D Hoot is saying, hackers are going to love all this, and you've already said that is one thing. Since they couldn't get us with the physical bug, they're going to get us with the virtual bugs now.
Right.
And will we see more hacking going on?
Well, the encryption is too solid to be hacked. They've been trying to hack it. The company Ripple, which basically started XRP, has been hiring the best hackers in the world to hack their stuff, and they haven't been able to do it.
Great. Okay. Where do you see metals? Where do you see silver? And look, Jay's talking about me here. I've been a metals guy for a long time.
Silver's going to do well, really well.
Yeah, CJ. See, you should have fucking listened to me. Now, and he did. Jay has bought some silver. I hoarded this shit. I had mountains of it.
You're like a pirate. You have a
I really was. Like I literally, if you opened my safe, there were kilo bars, there were 10 ounces, 5 ounces, thousands of ounces of silver, and I wish I still had all my gold. But
well, every solar panel uses 5 ounces of silver.
Yeah. I don't even want to talk about solar panels. Those were the biggest shit show ever when I got divorced. That was worse than the actual divorce, trying to get rid of a house with solar panels.
Yeah, well, I got them.
Divorce was easy. Solar panels, fucking nightmare. That's what I needed a lawyer for.
I don't understand that.
Huh?
I don't understand. Why did you get rid of the solar panels?
Nobody wanted them. Nobody wanted them.
They sold their house, and
I got divorced. Signed my little note. Yes, I won't screw you over. Thanks, lady. I'll see you next time. And then we had to sell the house. And it took me, we almost couldn't sell the house because of the solar panels. It's a nightmare. That's all I'm telling you.
You can't take them off your house and bring them to your new place either, by the way. They have to stay with the house, right?
Yeah, in some cases, right?
Well, if you're leasing them and stuff,
yeah. And then you can if you buy the same exact house with the same exact roof.
Yeah.
But then after I just bought them outright, I was like, I'm done with this. So here, let me just pay what I owe here. Then people were like, yeah, we don't want it. I'm like, how do you not want it? Like, that was a nightmare.
Well, depending on how, I mean, if it's grid tied,
Oh,
the electric companies kind of screwed the next homeowner when it comes to owning solar panels.
Yeah.
At least here in Louisiana.
yeah. So, and here's a little known. This might be news to everybody here, except for Jay Diz. I pour my own silver bars, skulls, everything. I used to.
Mhm.
So I would buy silver shot, and I have a kiln, and I would melt it down and pull out all the impurities, and then pour them into beautiful molds, and then I would stamp them. I have my own stamp.
Nice.
I did not get them assayed, but you can get your own assay, ass man. And yeah, I love pouring molten metals into things. Thank you, Jay. If you had a picture, send it to me. Yeah. So, and I know, Dee Dee, yeah, look, you have a son in California. Here in Pennsylvania. The notion of having solar for 7 months out of the year is cute until you actually own it, and then even worse when you try to sell it. I'm not joking. Hardest part of my divorce, solar panels. Everything else was a cakewalk, like literally to the point where. And Tesla, by the way, Tesla, who bought the company that I originally bought the panels from,
Yeah.
jackasses. Oh my god, they couldn't get it right. Hours and hours and hours of phone support, and anyway,
You have batteries too, or just the panels?
no, just the panels, and it would feed into the meter. I'm glad I didn't get the wall, because it just wasn't worth it at the end of the day. I pissed away a lot of money on a solar panel system. Now, if I knew there were 5 ounces of silver in each of those fuckers, I would have tore them down and pulled it out myself.
Yeah. That's
yeah.
that's what they're using today. They're using less charcoal and more silver.
All right. Well, good.
So can you just sort of let us know or wrap up where outside of your
Sarah's
prepare for
done.
shit? No, I'm not done. I'm looking for the beautifulness in what 2020, because they also said it's the year of the Gaia, Stacey.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's opposite of year of the money.
Yeah, let's hear Gaia.
Well, the system that we've had our whole lives, literally, I mean, I'm older than that, but since 1971 is going away. That new system that we're moving into is going to allow for a lot of the boom that we experienced during the 90s, from 94 to like 2004 with the internet, the explosion of access that we suddenly had to information in 10 years time.
Yeah.
That's happening to money and what we understand to be what is of value. This is not just a monetary question, but a philosophical one. What is of value? This is going to realign people to determine what is worth their time, what is worth their effort, what is worth in society. You know, do we always need, like, you know, iPhone 24? Is that what life is all about? Or is it about family? Is it about relationships? The social media bug that we've been dealing with for, you know, a few years now is starting to wear thin on a lot of people. You know, I'm not on social media except for, you know, Facebook. Thank you very much.
You're welcome very much.
But I'm not on TikTok. I'm not on Twitter. You know, people keep telling me to go on Twitter, and I tell you, I've been persuaded to almost do it, but I can't get Twitter on my phone. It just seems too much.
I hear nothing good about Twitter anyway.
Angry people on Twitter.
Yeah. So look, go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Time for rebalancing. We've been in a feminine energy for a while now, since Obama. It hasn't been, if you notice, men are not exactly like men much anymore. We're moving to more of a you know,
Yeah.
What does that mean?
what does that mean?
All right, never
You
mind.
think
Let's not-
so? I don't know that I think that the energy, the feminine energy, I don't think that that is not
There are
why.
more men in women's sports now than women.
Okay, but
it's different.
I think what we're talking about when we say feminine energy and we're talking about goddess energy,
Mhm.
that is not about feminized men. That's a whole different subject, I think. So I don't know that I agree that I don't know that I think we've been in feminine energy since Obama. I'm just going to say that.
Well, I haven't seen in
I'm
culture,
gonna take my shirt off, Stace.
women determine culture.
Okay.
Men determine society. Men build society. They build the buildings. They lay the pipes. They build the roads. They build society. And
What'd you
women.
just say? Hey, my name's Rob Stackless. I'm a professional pipe layer.
Hmm.
Are you building a
Stacey,
company?
you're the one that puts it out there.
Are you building a company? You're building a company. That's
That's my
society.
new company.
And I decided the culture of it.
Yes.
Would you agree with that, Rob?
Wait. What are we saying?
Rob's building the society, the business. Sarah determines the culture. She determines the culture of Get Haunted.
No, I honestly would disagree there. Sarah was the first person to actually understand what the fuck was happening up here in my head.
Mhm.
Sarah runs it the way I had envisioned it and hoped for, not in ways I could never do it. I'm just too much of a jackass sometimes. It's just true, right? Look, and I've admitted this publicly before. I'm a scrapper. I will bite back. Sarah does manage to keep me. Stop, Trevor. I can't look at. I got to go into full screen so I don't read that shit. Get out of it.
I'm not hearing the disagreement part.
No. So no, I am agreeing. But it's not like I just sit through the keys and said, do this. I think we both saw and shared nearly identical vision in most cases. And her approach is just way the fuck better than mine ever will be. Now, privately, like one-on-one with people, I'm a softie with the right people, but sometimes I can be yeah. So Jay's right. Like, so she keeps it in line, but she can be a big old hard ass herself. I've seen it happen, and it does freak people out when
It's not a good look.
it's not a good look, Sarah.
Well, what I'm saying isn't to be an insult or a diss.
We know.
This is
Nobody's
how
saying that.
societies work.
Explaining it. I'm just explaining.
The culture is.
But she is built. I guess my point is, she is built just as much as I have, right? I had this big fucking box of Legos, and I showed up on her show, and I'm like, here's what I want this to look like, and she's like, yeah, that's cool. The truth is sort of kind of towards the end of that first year, it wasn't much of a foundation built. We kind of knew what we were doing. And she helped me with the Legos and made them nice and neat, and I was smashing things around, and you know how it goes. You know how this shit works.
So he might actually be a little bit agreeing with you, Stacey, in
I
just
am.
a different form.
Yeah, I'm not arguing.
Stacey looks like he's like,
he's
okay.
confused. Yeah,
I can't tell whether you're like disagreeing with me or agreeing with me.
I can't tell either. I'm just telling the fucking story, Stacey, the way I know it. I don't know. You're way too smart for me. Look, I used to think I was a smart guy, and then this show started.
Yeah, before Obama, everything was
Oh.
determined with like the religious right and the idea of what is moral here and moral there, and they had wedge issues, you know, all kinds of political things with culture that just was very masculine in nature.
Oh my God.
After Obama, everything became more, the words that he would even use were more touchy-feely, and it was very feminized. More women voted for Obama than any other president.
Because he could speak.
Well, yeah, but it
He
was,
is a great orator.
but he was talking to women
Yeah.
because they're the ones that build the culture, and politics is downstream of culture always.
Okay. I'm with you. Look, you know, any day of the week, I have like two guy friends, including you. All right, maybe 5.
All your friends on the side are going, excuse me?
Yeah, I know. They're not my friends.
Oh,
I just said like 5, 6, whatever it is. But especially in the paranormal, it is mostly women because it is women to me seem to tend to be more spiritual. And it's just kind of how it goes. And that's always how it was. All right, shut up, Jay. You know what I'm saying? See, Sarah, why do you pour salt in the wounds? This is what you're talking about, Stacey. You're right. She builds the culture. Here's the culture. Keep the man down. That's what she's doing.
you know what? Is that, no. Do not blame me for what you just said.
I didn't say it. The
You
words
just-
were not correct. This is why Sarah's in charge of everything, and I just am not.
Hmm.
All right, I'm out. This show's stupid.
He'll be back. So what about housing prices, up or down? Get back on. Yeah, you don't get to just leave anymore. You know what? He's in big trouble now.
Housing is not a national thing. It's a local thing. Prices all around the country are going to fluctuate up and down based off of wherever you're at. You have bubbles and bursts everywhere, but they're all, you know, they go off, they're like whack-a-mole. You know, in one area it looks like it's going bankrupt, in another area it's going through the roof. You know.
Yeah.
So interest rates will come back down, but as of right now, it's going to be a determination of what is the money going to be worth. So that's happening shortly too. There's going to be a reevaluation period because
Buy your tickets now, people.
yeah. One of the things that I was remote viewing was whether or not the United States was going to experience a Zimbabwe-like event.
What the hell does that mean?
What does that mean?
Everybody in Zimbabwe is a billionaire.
Oh. So, but does that mean shit then? Does that?
Yes.
Everybody.
Everybody.
Listen,
Because
Everybody.
$1 in Zimbabwe money actually has 6 zeros behind it.
oh, that's nice.
They just keep cutting off the zeros and say this is the dollar, even though that its valuation is 1/billionth of what it used to be.
That's what I want.
So
I want
it's
lots of zeros.
that kind of an event, that hyperinflation. There's that was in my less than 80 percentile thing that was going to happen, but it wasn't by much. So
Okay. So we're all going to be billionaires, but everything's going to cost $1 billion.
yeah, it's going to cost $67 billion dollars for a loaf
shit.
of bread, you know, that kind of thing.
All right. So everybody, 10% off tickets tomorrow. Book early. Order your shirts in advance. Get on the T-shirt of the month club. This way you have something warm to be in when we're all homeless next year.
I'm not completely convinced of that, just to let you know. But I did run the queue, and it was less than 80% in my.
Okay. Is there anywhere in this world that's safe? Anywhere I can go tomorrow and just bring everything I want, my dog and my 2 male friends.
You're asking for safe zones?
Yeah, I need a safe zone.
Yeah, safe zones are all over the place in
Okay.
in America.
Give me one. I don't even want to be here anymore. I want to be somewhere like
The Appalachia, the Rockies,
no, too many
Montana.
bugs.
I
Too
mean,
many
these are
bugs. Oh,
general safe
Montana's
zones.
good. Yeah, I like Montana. It's cold.
These are general safe zones in the mountains. You know, a lot of land that's really cheap.
I don't want to buy anything. I just want to go somewhere and squat.
Well, it's not Detroit. We're number 2 as the most violent city in the United
Oh,
States.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh, you must be so proud.
Very proud.
Roland's right there. I mean, Rob almost got shot when he was down here.
Oh,
New
yeah.
Orleans-
Stacey.
Actually, it was Baton Rouge. New Orleans did not take the top 50. It was Baton Rouge.
Because they don't
Oh.
even
That came
count
in.
it anymore. It's not even it doesn't even count as America.
What, Baton Rouge?
It was friggin' no, New Orleans. New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
There was guns drawn. Stacey's standing there. I'm like, dude, get down. I'm doing like presidential protection maneuvers on this guy.
I don't remember what number 1 was, but it was like Birmingham, Alabama, Little Rock, Arkansas, Detroit. I can't remember what number 1 was.
Most violent?
I literally watched it click down from 50, and you get into I'm like, okay, well, Detroit's going to be maybe, I don't know. And when we got to the last 5, I'm like, holy shit. And then there it was, number 2.
It's a shit show.
A little bit.
It
And
is. It's Adam and Jack.
we went from 1 million, right, in the city limits of Detroit. It's a sprawling city, but we went from 1 million. They're saying in just a couple of years, it's like at 600,000. We'll be under that, and it's still one of the most violent cities to live in.
Yeah, well, it
I
collapsed
need the predator.
for all intents and purposes.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Flint. I mean, that's still a shit show.
Yes. Lansing. I can name you many in Michigan.
All right. Nobody cares about Michigan. Let's talk about real states. Okay.
Oh,
Michigan is beautiful.
Philadelphia came in.
Yeah.
I believe
Philly.
as
Have you seen the videos? Holy
But again,
Christ.
I think it might have been top 15, not even the top 5. And I
Yeah.
would think Philadelphia is worse than Detroit.
Philly's rough. I took Ava to see one of Sarah's favorite movie directors, Chad Kalick in Philly, and at the Trocadero, and parked during the day, and then me being a really good father forgot where we parked, so I'm like, okay, and we had all this merch and shit. So I'm like, all right, we'll just walk. We'll go down this block. And she was younger, right? So she had her merch like tucked up under her hoodie. And oh my God, all of a sudden it was like The Walking Dead. They were like the zombies. They're just all walking around us. And I'm like, oh, and I wasn't carrying that night. So I'm like, hey, I don't want to kill anyone in front of my kid.
Yeah.
If I had to, I would, but you just don't. She was too young to be witnessing that. So I was trying to kind of skirt these, the junkies, and found a police station. So I went in that parking lot, and they were like, "What are you guys doing?" I'm like, "I don't know where I parked, man." They're like, "Oh, there's a parking deck like over here." So I found it, but to this day, like she remembers that. It was a traumatic experience, but there's parts of Philly where if you see the TikTok reels, it doesn't even look real.
Yeah. Thank you, Lori. That was correct. St. Louis.
Post-apocalyptic.
It is. It was.
St. Louis, Missouri.
That was it. And yes,
a lot of the urban cities are that way now, and it's you can point exactly why that is, but no one wants to talk about it.
Yeah.
Well, this particular thing, they were taking it because it's actually really interesting. It's an interesting stat that they did and how they chose the cities. So there were some that you would think, especially in New England, and they talk, and these were violent crimes. These were not, because they would say like some cities you think there's a lot of crime, and there is, but it's a lot of property. Like Compton
which is very interesting. They were like, you think that would be, and that wasn't on the list. But they were just saying how, because you have to weigh property over
Versus
violence,
homicide,
and and the violence. It's a very interesting stat. And yes, there is Hell, Michigan, FYI. It's tiny.
Yeah.
It's like 2 buildings.
Yeah.
About it.
No, and Missouri's got some of its own. I've been in Jeff City with gunshots going off. This is like, it's wild. So, it is a problem here in the United States and larger cities. I agree. Yeah. Hey, sorry, Hoot. All right, I'm gonna take a break. Listen, since Hoot and I have bonded, she's taken lessons from Sarah, I think, on how to smack me around a little bit. But go ahead. All
right. The most significant thing being money is that you need to really start looking at cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is going to be the new money, and it's not going to be valued based off of how we understand values today. It's going to be, because there's a limited amount of XRP. It's a fixed amount, which means they're not making any more of it. And that valuation is going to be based off of how it's used, how often it's used. Our GDP is calculated from supply times velocity. That's how GDP is calculated. You have a certain amount of money that's created, and how often it moves is what its valuation is. Because the same dollar can change hands 10 times, and that same dollar is now worth $10 because it changed hands 10 times. That's how velocity works. You do that with a fixed supply, and you've got huge velocity, your valuation is just going to go stupid high. And you can use that to actually retire off of. And can't be taken from you, not even from the government. You have to give it up willingly. That's the virtue of the new system. Governments will not be able to take it from you. Unlike gold and silver, they can kick in your door and take your shit. With crypto, they can't do that. You have to willingly give up your keys, because you take that information with you. Doesn't matter what happens. You have that information with you. It's yours. They can't take it. So it's a new way of doing things and a new way of seeing things that a lot of people haven't caught on to yet. But in 1994, if you look at the news reels like Good Morning America and all that, they're like, what is this weird thing called email? It has that @ sign. I don't understand the @ sign. Why is that there?
Why do you sound like Jim Gaffigan?
Because that's what they sounded like. It was crazy. I was watching some of that today. They were rolling on all of these different news programs. We were talking about, how do we get on the internet? What is internet? Well, I don't understand this internet. And that's where we're at now with crypto. What we understand from what is the internet is just common. 4-year-old children understand what the internet is. But no one understands crypto because it's not part of the nomenclature yet. You will, but the greatest gains are always the people who get in it first. Zuckerberg didn't wait for everybody to figure out what a web page was before he created Facebook. He created Facebook, and then everybody came on board with him. And now he's building a bunker in Hawaii. $500 million, and that's to him. That's what he left in his couch cushions. So the same thing's going to happen, and then between now and 2030, the very same thing's going to happen with crypto.
Right, well, I'm dead by then, so give me now in 2026.
Well, that's the same thing.
I'm joking.
Yeah, it's.
I should still be around in another 10.
Really in envy of young people. People who are under 50. Holy hell, man! Those who get into it now and just hold on to it, they're gonna be stupid rich, and for doing nothing except throwing out $1,000.
There you go. Get stupid rich.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get stupid rich.
Yo. So
about Adam's question? Should he invest more in that?
Tanzanite?
I don't know. Is that a real question?
I don't know what Tanzanite is.
It's a mineral from Tanzania.
It's like dynamite, or is it?
No, it's nothing like that.
There's a few under 50.
I'm under 50.
Yo. Well, I don't know. Did you guys on the side get your questions answered?
No,
Do you feel
they're
like
all
you
drinking
have some...
now? They're like, well,
they're stocking up on their wine.
Yeah, they're like, let's get wine.
I don't think anybody is. You're the most in here. Everybody else is cool with it, I think.
Oh, is that true? Or is everybody cool with what Stacey has predicted with remote viewing? What he had in the queue? What do you guys think? Do you feel like
Tanzanite's a gemstone, Cindy?
That you have like a good, solid something to sort of walk into 2020.
I just know I'm going to be walking into 2024 exactly the way I walk into every day, and that is just to show up.
Yeah.
And I whatever happens, happens.
The hope that people have for 2024 is a beautiful thing. Do not let that go. Regardless of what happens, don't let it go.
Dee Dee and Rob will have their own side show.
We're going to have our own show, Dee Dee. I was looking forward to this year, and now I'm not.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But I'm also probably not your friend during a zombie attack, because I'll just let them bite me, and I'll just,
That's a t-shirt.
Right. Well, cancel Christmas.
Zombies bite me.
Thinking, yeah, there you go. 2024, bite me. Yeah, I guess I just don't understand a lot of it.
Part.
So I'll just go in being blissfully unaware.
Which part don't you understand?
All the cryptocurrency stuff just makes zero sense to me, but
it's not new in concept or in technology. It's just the way it's being applied is new.
Mm-hmm.
What we were saying before, video games, when we were kids, they gave us tokens.
Right.
It's the same thing. It's digital instead of and encrypted and put on a public blockchain to where no one government has control over it.
Mm-hmm.
Would you have from the old boss to the new boss, when the old system collapsed, you got a new tyrant telling you what you can do and what you can't do with your money? Or do you want to be able to say, hey, screw you, I'm going to go anywhere in the world because this is good anywhere in the world? It's freedom. It really is. The whole idea behind Bitcoin in the first place was to create freedom in the shadow of the 2008 high. The banks were so terrible at what they did, the gambling with everybody's real estate and all that Bitcoin was born out of that. A libertarian system that you could have money and value outside the system. Well, now the system itself is collapsing. So they're wanting to get in that system instead, leave the old one behind. All you got to do is be in that new system in order to take advantage of it, which is what BlackRock, JP Morgan, and all the typical evil actors are getting into now. They're getting ready to do a Bitcoin ETF by January 9th. So between now and January 9th, they're going to create a product that Wall Street likes to use called Exchange Traded Fund, or ETF. This allows them legally to buy Bitcoin and sell it to their customers. The valuation, they're expected to quadruple by the end of the year because of that. Of the wall of money that Wall Street has, they're trying to, like rats on a sinking ship, find safe harbor. And they're doing it in these ETFs and things of that kind. So it's the opportunity that is available to people right now is so huge. It's difficult to wrap your mind around. But if you think of it like a stock, think of it like a stock. It's not, but you can. They act very similar in the way that they're going to be handled. But it's the amount of gains that you get now, it's like 20%. You're considered a god on Wall Street. When you're talking 5, 6, 10x from where we're at now, I mean, that's just, nobody can get their head around that, because it's literally switching from something that is in its nascent stage to global dominance. And again, it's, most people won't realize it until it's that opportunity is in the rearview mirror, but it's happening. It's happening in 2024.
It's happening in 2024, folks. Do you guys like Stacey's new hat?
Yeah, I got Christmas.
He got a new hat. I'm almost thinking we need fedoras for Ask Stacey stuff, Rob.
Yeah, find a couple.
We're gonna need some Get Haunted fedoras.
Yeah.
So
White
we can
hats.
all. Here we go.
Everything Get Haunted is black. You need white.
It's the good guy hat. You have your good
Yeah.
guy hat on.
Mm.
Well, I think everybody on the side is good. I think, Rob, it's not quite as upbeat as you thought it might be. I don't know. Maybe you didn't believe that it was going to be upbeat. I don't know.
No, I did. I never thought. I was never convinced it would be upbeat.
Mhm.
Well, you know, I'm never going to blow sunshine up your ass either. I'm going
Right.
to tell you, you know, because who needs that? You
Nobody
know?
apparently.
Nobody. Nobody.
Rainbow animal.
All right. So we will keep an eye on these 2024 predictions. I can't talk. 2020. Oh my God. 2024 predictions per Stacey's remote viewing. I'm going to have to go back and write some of these down because, yeah, I check out a little bit when it comes to the crypto. Like it's just not my gig. But it's all interesting. Be prepared. Get your 14-day supply of wine ready. And yeah,
Food,
this
too.
week,
Beans and
Jay
rice.
Diz. He said this week sucked. Could have used a little sunshine, but you got us, Jay Diz. So right there, that's some sunshine to brighten up that week.
Mine did too. You should have called me, Jay.
Yeah, I think everybody's got a lot to think about. I agree with that, Dee Dee. But guys, on the side, awesome questions. Stacey, what are you thinking about doing for your next Ask Stacey stuff? Do you have something in mind now that is it going to flow with this 2024 prediction?
Well, it's 2 weeks out, and a lot of stuff's going to go between here and there. So probably do a TBA. Look, Rob.
Yeah. You know, we may need a new co-producer here.
I think you're going to be okay.
Are you gonna have to find me a good therapist here?
That will be our next show. Right after Ask Stacey stuff, it will be followed by therapy. Get therapy.
Yeah. Well, Doc,
will
everything was
survive.
good, and then I listened to Stacey's show, and
Would you guys like a little get therapied with Get Haunted? We can do that. We can.
Well, I mean, we could talk about the religious side, the spiritual stuff.
oh, that's fun.
The hoodoo and conjure.
Yeah.
Depending on what's going on, we might need to talk about prepping. Sorry, I just had to say that. It's
Stacey, you're really making my next week really, really looking hard here because this, we gotta keep him happy here. Don't talk about prepping.
No, we can talk about the spiritual stuff, the hoodoo and conjure,
right.
different aspects of that, because it's basically what everybody on the side does for fun anyway, is the spiritual side of stuff.
Yeah.
And
I'm going to push for you to teach us how to do some sort of spell, conjure, binding, something, a little hands-on, something to take us through if we're feeling we need one of these rituals. I think everybody would love that, a little hands-on workshop with Stacey Talltsch.
We can do that. We can show how to ward a house. If you're going to do an exorcism, push all the spirits out the front door, out the side door, lock the door behind them spiritually.
See,
let's do that.
That's easy peasy.
Yeah, I like that.
Now, let me read my tarot scope before y'all go, and let's just compare. Libra, because I'm a Libra. Because I'm fair and balanced. 2024. This year is amazing for our balanced Libras. just the way you like it. There will be a lot of travel in your future. And to top this all off, while being a magnet for money. Now, it doesn't say what kind, could be digital.
Okay.
In your pockets, we become more charismatic. Impossible. Libras do not need any more charisma. See, she's right there. Because the women are so lovely and the men are so charming. You have had a rough few years financially, and now that is over for the rest of the year. Oh, this is, I guess, just for this month. Well, I think you've had your fair share.
2024.
I think you've had your fair share, and now you can finally relax and enjoy life. Well, that part's wrong because I came on this show. I think this is just for the remainder of this year. Mostly accurate, especially the charismatic and charming pieces.
Is that April? She put that out.
Now, April put that out.
She's intuitive.
She's intuitive, April.
Mm-hmm.
You should.
All right.
You guys should do a little remote viewing / intuitiveness. You know, a little comparison, comparing. Right. Okay.
Well, I'm game for that, but you know.
I'll read yours. I'll read yours next week. I don't know if you're a Libra. I'm gonna guess you're a Sagittarius.
Who, me? Or Sarah?
No.
Okay. D Hoot, are you not going to sit here and read like everybody's?
No, I'm not doing it, but I'll do hers later.
I know, but he's gonna take full control of that microphone, and he's gonna readings by Rob.
Yes, so I will. That's what I'll do. All right. All right. I have to go to sleep. Apparently, I have no. You're Scorpio. That's what I said. I said Scorpio.
All right. Well, folks,
all right. Good night.
I hope you got a lot of what you needed right here with Ask Stacey stuff. I hope you're ready for 2024. He gave you some things to think about. And don't forget, you can get your preppers course with Stacey on udemy.com. And right in the show description is the link to get to udemy.com with Stacey's courses. So go check those out to get you ready for 2024.
There's a new coupon too.
Oh, new coupon, people.
New year 2020 or New Year 23. All one word.
New Year 20 in all caps.
All caps.
All caps. New Year 23. Go get your coupons. Does this make these courses $10 a course again?
Yep.
Oh my God, guys! If you didn't jump on it the first time, go jump on it now. You can get each course for $10 by using New Year 23, all capital, all together. Check out the link right there in the show description. Now, Jay does no kidding F off. FO24. That would be perfect. But Stacey's assuring us it's a good year for money. Let's think positive. Let's use the collective mind. Let's move forward with some positivity all together. Let's let Rob get some sleep. And Stacey, get back to work. Ask your dad some questions.
Yes.
Yeah, it's all in your control. Everything in your life is under your control, even though they tell you it's not.
Right.
So don't believe the bullshit.
Yeah.
Don't believe the bullshit.
Don't believe it.
Don't believe it.
Don't
folks.
You believe it?
All right. With that, we're going to send you to bed for some amazing dreams. Enjoy all the good stuff. That's all I can say. And outside of that, guys, we will see you. It is going to be a new year on Monday, starting Monday, January 1st, 2024. Happy New Year. Have a safe weekend. I don't know.
Yes.
Maybe Rob will be going live to read.
Happy New Year. I'll go live at some point. Otherwise, yeah, y'all might just need to watch me for a few more days here.
You never know what's going to happen.
I could go out with a bang New Year's Eve.
Okay. That's all right, folks.
Me and my two friends.
Two guy friends that you have.
My two male friends.
Stacey being one of them. Who's the other lucky one?
Yeah. So you guys on the side, we're going to play a little game.
Oh my. All right, folks. Go to bed. It's been 2 hours. All right, guys, we will see you next Wednesday. Check ya.
Peace.